When coaches get sort of brought into the fact that they're in the lobby, it also brings a question in terms of how useful as it is. Many coaches are screaming for that sort of assist or the tool, anything to give their team not necessarily an outright advantage, but one where they can communicate the team to the point where they can actually be assisting. Because sometimes when you're on stream, you have that half or 2 seconds, and it might not be the moment that you're opening. But thankfully, the second semi-final, we're underway.
Well, underway, it's Fake SK Gaming in the blue against an RFN in the orange. That's immediately pressed to the backside by Fake SK Rexo. Only as far as Nas with his first attempt on a clearance. It's the pressure, but if we think back to their series against Speed Rizex from earlier, that's exactly where RFN like to be. They like to soak up the pressure. They like to be on their backside, and they like to move out quickly and swarm their opponents.
Was sponge-like in terms of performance, fairly decent absorption rate. Sadly, if you were asking me going into that series, I would have back speed all the way, but that was foolish enough here as Neil also gets beaten to the ball. And Nas, you mentioned about his 2 capabilities. Yes, the questions around his 3s, but Razier's at the back line has to defend, and there's no question mark around him.
Absolutely no question mark about Razier's as he takes down Neon in his first attempt. Fabs and Rex are both up, and they both call each other off, both miss. Now it's Neon alone behind. Razias gets it past him. Nas is there for the center. It's at 1-2, but there's no third to latch onto that open ball.
Ivan trying to advance further. Raziers is up. Strong presence into the air here as Rexo was described like a dynamite-like player. No explosion to follow suit as the fuse will slightly die a bit of shortness there. Again, everything so far here has been playing down the wings. No expansion really being diverted either side here. So, to an extent here, this sort of German derby at the sort of the top end of the table. They've seen each other plenty of times. It seems familiarity is on course.
They know what to expect, and they're ready to deliver. As once more, this one is turning out to be a grindy series for both teams, needing to find the loop, find the gap in the opposing defense. Raziers looking for Nas in the center. It's only as far as Rex or Ivan. Sidewall read. Gonna get it towards the backboard. That's to his credit, but that's about it for that play from Ivan. There's no really a cohesion right here. That is solely missing from Fake SK's offense right now.
I wonder how many people's tripped up reading that one on the bracket. Is it SK? Is it the real one? No, it's the fake one, and there's no fake being put onto the target. Decent save, and Nas, he has an option. And Spook said this earlier in the opening day about sometimes not going for the ball's the better option. Would have been useful there as Nas looking and prowling for a goal. Again, the delivery not good enough with the first touch issue.
Again, Nas trying to be the enforcer, trying to push the envelope, but the defense of RNF is very content with just waiting on the goal line, seeing how the play unfolds in front of them, and then just pouncing at the correct moment. So right here with Fapso, finding a clear. Raziers taking control, not being pressured. Fapso should be quicker than Nas here. Is indeed. Ivan is awkward. That's an opportunity for Exo, but he just barely misses the mark.
And Nas follows through. Raziers was there with the original start at the play. It still is for Fake SK to do something. The Neon on the backboard here. A bump would be ideal. A lack of boost. Options here running out in the face of play. 1, 2, and 3 has failed. But will it be time to recuperate for Fabzo's sake, as he will need resources in the back line?
Resources have been gathered, but can they be used effectively? Ivan with the delayed shot. Barely too high to make it 1-0 for Fake SK as we enter the last minute of play. One counter-attack, one next goal could be a silver bullet in the chamber. Nas double tap too high. Raziers for the follow-up. Fabzo to save it for RNF.
Babzo's there, but holds on a second, Mac. This one's not safe from either side here. It is at the back lines here. Somebody from RAF needs to get this one away with a bit of vigor to it. Far too much pressure now being contained in this orange half as Ivan, Nas, all 3 of them on the same spot. And that is the silver bullet you wanted.
They're prowling, they're waiting, and Ivan is chomping at the bits. A beautiful pass down. The shot simply out of reach for Fapso, the CRL World Champion. Has his wits about him, but can't keep it out of the late kickoff, though. It's going to give hope to RNF. Razias meets Neon confidently mid-air.
Nas, well, that's not confident. That's a lack of it there. Neon just needs to find some kind of purchase into the game. You want to have that link up. A softer touch would have allowed and alleviate some kind of play style to fully develop. Time ticking down. Neon's a good save in vain, however, as they trail by one. Last second to get it downfield. Second one goes in, but it's too little, too late for the side in orange.
Too little, too late for RNF, who are happy to soak up the pressure, but eventually the class of offense of Fake SK is going to find its way through. Razias with the second after assisting on the first. 100% goal participation from Germany's jewel in the crown.
Well, we could sit here and have a very long discussion probably on German crowns and titles and everything that goes around it. I think it'd be fair to say the highlight of that match probably is Razier's former, of course, top blokes, has moved on a few different rosters. When he has played in the German league, has been outstanding. And you know what? There's plenty of all the players here, Mac, and I'm sort of going to ask you because you've been casting there for seasons upon seasons at this time. What's next from this German scene here? Because Neon was at one point the up-and-coming kid. At this point, I don't think we could say that either.
Well, it was Neon and also Fapso who have now found each other, that were the next hope for Germany to maybe break it through, and then Razias sort of came out and overtook them, and is now that one player for the German scene where we're like, okay, everyone, we have high hopes for Razias. We know what he can bring. This series and this RSO, though, is to remind us that Germany, yes, we might not be there at the top level, but in the bubble, we're still very, very strong. Razias, Neon, Fapso, and of course Ivan, I'm just going to count him as well. Even though he's Austrian, they're certainly showing exactly that. They're not to be disregarded, they're not to be counted out. So we move on to game number 2. Yeah, and RNF, as they did in the earlier series, need to find a comeback.
Certainly so, and the proof will be in the pudding here. As Orexo straight down, and they will be fighting for scraps here at the midfield already. Good aggression by both sides as the RN effectively side was playing defensively for already 20, 30 seconds. Then field ball ideal here for somebody to get onto the end of it. And Mac, once again, it's a question of when something will occur. And finally, the ball trip.
When will something occur? Well, Fapso says better now than later. A confident dunk over Razias, and Nas is none the wiser at the back post. Tries his hardest, but still fails in the end to keep it out. It's a 1-0. It's an early lead for RNF.
Neon looking to grab number 2 from the kickoff. We have rarely seen in terms of that tonight so far, as Rexo just gets a strong, once again, 50 in the half line and really beats him outright. So the Fake SK game has got to be careful positional, otherwise it's far too spread as Rexo's around, and that's a big blunder.
Big blunder from Razias, thankfully for him. Ivan right behind him to catch it out and clear it away for now. Rexo, though, still putting on the pressure. Neon is there. Beaten once again by the Austrian as Fapso tries to keep the offense alive. They try to pressurize Fake SK into mistakes, but the mistakes are simply not coming out in the quantity or in the quality that they would need to succeed.
Well, 2 massive queues, and there was one also being developed in front of the Fake SK game in line. The shots were at least potentially could be piled on. No siege, and it's a strange one. Double commit, a lack of communication showing there. Or sense of desperation being thrown as Neon back here to maybe cause a few ruptures in the back line. Doesn't pierce through the armour, essentially. So and Ivan, well, he will have a defensive job, and it will be such an easy one. We shouldn't see any shockers here.
Shouldn't see anything, and nothing happening at the moment as Fapso just a lift gives away possession. Razias got the reset. He's trying to use the reset, but Rexo cutting in front of Fapso, helping out in defense as well. That's where he is so valuable, Rexo. That glue, that player that just comes in and helps out wherever he can. Once more on the flank, Rexo is right there for his team.
Just like that. Maybe he's looking at the second man dictating the game and the series so far. Here we have been almost spoilt with earlier games tonight here on the RSO. Thankfully, we are wondering when that sort of development will occur, and we have finally seen goal number 2. We were asking for one to be beckoning, and a bump like that will certainly aid the cause.
A bump on Ivan, a fantastic 50 versus Nas, and Rexo is there to clean up the job. All 3 players of RFN getting involved and using their strength to make Fake SK Gaming pay and sweat on defense. Rexo puts another one on target this time. Raziers is right at the front post.
I may even get to a puddle at this point with the amount of sweat dripping off these players here. Persevering to get one away here as Fabso gets the beat here. There should be a large bang here as NASA's the likely outcome, but stifled out brilliantly here as Fabso with one fake. That will do. That will do just to get something going for both sides here as Rexo called into the first man line of duty here, and a demo could make something interesting there.
Demo still showing its effect on the Fake SK defense. Now they finally settle in. Now they can look for each other and move out and transition into the offensive half. Raziers finds a great demo on Neon, gets the pass for Ivan, but Rexo has him red. He's now on his way transitioning himself. Musty flick up by Nas, already on the backboard.
Ivan will continue it after with an early pre-jump. He is going down. Raziers, he went down, but he comes up tops.
Shoot low, win high. That's the message from Raziers as he bullies his way through Rexo. Fabso backflipping behind there just for good measure. In the end, Raziers will not be denied as now for the last minute it's going to be squeaky bum time here for RFN.
Well, it's nice to hear the old quote that would have been Sir Alex Ferguson of Manchester United, the club legend. Unfortunately, that result may not be good for the particular fans of there, and Raziers will not be in a cheerful mood either. That should have been a potential goal-scoring chance cut out, mind you. 30 seconds to grab and muster a second.
100% chance gone awry for Fake SK, who are now chomping at the bits, trying to induce an error into the defensive rotations of RFN. Nas with some majestic heroics. No dunk on the end of that. Razier second shot, at least forcing a double commit. Fabso has to take it to safety, gets the double, burning some time off the clock. Nas up high. Leon already pre-jumping, just forcing Nas to go back to the ground. Rexo across. Oh no! Disaster strikes!
Sabotage within a line that you would have thought it wouldn't occur. Nas's dribble was good, but Rexo's self-deflating pass, critical. But 2-2 with 2 seconds left, it's pretty much we're into OT time.
Prospect panic on the side of Rexo. And a surefire way to win a game thrown out the window. The first possible moment. Ivan. Now for Fake SK. Nas on the redirect, looks down. Finds Ivan once more. Gets it around Fabso this time. Rexo's composed up high. It's forced by Raziers. These players know each other intimately. Rexo and Raziers teaming it actually at the moment. He had exactly in his mind what Rexo wanted to do. And is now trying to do it to him. Raziers up high. Fabso with the clearance.
Cremonese is probably the best way to describe it. And Ivan with one shot, and the CRL world champion will get one save away as Nas looking to pile a second attempt. Wide it goes. Wasn't too far away, and Raziers won't be far either. That one bounces on kindly. Whether fake or not, this one is still on its edge.
Crossbar and post, helping out RFN, holding on for dear life. It's great infield pass, red by Neon. Confidently as the bumps coming out, but once again, Fabso immaculate defensive form from him today.
Razier's down to the other line. Fabso, who has been stellar, simply stellar defensively, tries to push up one demo. That's just going to cause confusion for both sides as Razier's trying to take the reins of the pitch right now. Ivan back to himself, surely. It will be the ceiling touching down, but there is Rexo, the dynamite once again, just moving mountains at the moment.
The dynamite not used for destruction, but this time for safety reasons only. On his own backboard as he's tasked with beating Ivan, but he at least forces the Austrian to the side. Nas up high once again, pre-jump by Neon. Nas is going to do it all by himself, leave it up, but neither Razias nor Ivan in a position to capitalize, to pounce on that loose ball.
Speaking about loose, that pass was unfortunately a sense of that particular word there. We have close chances rattling left or right at the post, but not the accuracy to follow suit here as Nas scuppers his line somewhat, gets a touch, and it will be dished into the middle. Fake SK Cayman are pounding with chances here, and Fabso's little crease of a touch winces away.
Crucially, RFN always get one part of the car in there. They get the bonnet underneath. As now Neon and Fabso, they duke each other out. Nas redirects it in. After 2:42, Fake SK take a 2-0 lead in the series.
What a touch! Top left, not good enough. I thought Razier's pass was just shambolic, to be truthfully honest, because it looked like the shot, it looked like the original attempt of it. But Mac, we wanted to see some kind of response. We wanted to see that sort of grip to the game. We had RFN trying. Bless them, they were good enough. But that's the quality. You mentioned that particular player. Razier's, well, he delivered a chance, but mind you, Nas and Ivan are just showing equally so.
All three cylinders of Fake SK are firing on full force. They're hitting 10,000 RPM, and at the moment, RFN not able to match that pure power that SK is bringing to the table. However, we shall not forget, Danny, that if it wasn't for a crucial last-second slip-up, this was RFN's game.
Oh, do you have to remind them of the slip-up, Mac?
Of course I do. Always.
Well, that's fair. I would have probably brought it up too at some point, because that's a slippery slope, because that could easily just hit you in the wrong way, and you know what, sort of going, oh dear, this is where it gets into the crunch. And effectively, this is also where we see it, where they're made of too. 2-0 in the series, go down 3-0, it's match point in a grand final, near enough guarantee. That's what the feeling, my gut instinct coming in here. The coach of man would be suggesting that to the players. They have to respond. They have to win this, and we're going to see maybe that close game 6 or 7 series.
RFN, we thank the lucky stars that we're not playing best of 5. Otherwise, we would be looking down the barrel of a sweep. Now and here, they should show their true colors. They've shown fight before in both their series that they've won. They've gone over full distance, let's not forget that. But right here and now, it's against a higher quality of opponent. It's against a different quality of opponent. But again, they come forward. But once more, the brick wall of Razias holds firm.
Rexo has a brick of his own, and Fabso is the flying wall at this point. Sweeps on in. There is no sweep, mind you, in the series going to happen. He's determined to remove that thought, the prospect of it occurring, but it's not even past the first minute here.
High quality chances on both ends of the pitch. Neither team holding back. Open visor Rocket League, exactly what we want to see in the semi-finals. Giat will be watching closely on both teams as to what they can expect coming down to that grand finals. What they can expect is fight, is ruthlessness, and is a Nas redirect into the heart of RFN.
You've got to question the defensive rotation here, though. Famously picked out was Nas. but mind you, you have to realise somebody needs to be at the back line to pick this one away. My words here, they are just showing a different style of class.
Class has been shown. And class has been expected by our number 1 seed, by Fake SK Gaming. Still, RFN making them pay and making them work for it, as we're going to have a quick little technical pause. That's just giving RFN a bit of time to breathe, a bit of time to reevaluate how they want to approach this might of Fake SK Gaming.
Well, I'm slightly annoyed because of that unfortunate crash, and as you said, that time, if you was in the RCS, you have that pause, you'd probably be screaming and shouting, wanting it for that particular reason. What needs to be done? Realistically, they played quite well. Unfortunately, let's talk about the goal for a brief moment as well. That was caused and simply due to an overextension. That is that sort of need and desire to push and grab a goal. You cannot have that in a semi-final. You have to respect and bide your time and pick your opportunities out much wiser.
The problem that I believe that RFN are running into is simply that they know the opposition too well, so they want to surprise them. And if you want to surprise them, you play outside of your comfort zone. You play different than what you would normally expect of yourself, and then is where the reads fall out. Then is where the trust trickles down and falls apart. And we could see that in that one overextension. Neon as third was stranded, kept back, and had no way after a brilliant pass from Raziers to Nas to get it sorted and get it done for him. As now, RFN, they can't allow themselves to do that. Yes, they're down 2-0 in the series. Yes, they're down 1-0 in the game, but they have to remain patient. That is their greatest virtue.
Certainly so, and just the update, we restart at 3 minutes 26 on the clock from the kickoff due to that technical pause. Both sides happy here, and Ivan will be even happier, but unfortunately, virtue will be only given if you can put that one away.
Some have said in the past, in order to finish first you must finish, and finishing, the one stifling factor of the offense of Fake SK Gaming is once more is Ivan, that cannot put the ball on target.
That's a decent block here, and well, we might just see the fortune cookie wisdom, or the old philosopher here, Macfish, just quoting some back in the early 5 centuries ago. I'd just like to break the rumour that I'm certainly not from that age, although spooks would suggest otherwise.
I was actually just quoting the great Sir Jackie Stewart.
Of course you are.
I mean, it feels appropriate if we speak about Open Visor Rocket League to quote a racing driver, one of the finest, and some of those performances must be channeled now into RFN, a racing driver that's been known for his patience on the racetrack. RFN have to now find the patience and the willingness to succeed on the virtual pitch as well.
Also in those particular sports and those champions of old, you look and have that sense of understanding fear. They have to show that this opposition don't fear them, they don't respect them, they want to have a go at them. And Fazio, Neo and Rexo sitting in the back lines here, too much tampering to the wins here of their opposition as that one past one. Fabso should be going at some speed for this ball here, but it's too slow. It's not given that energy that you would want to see, and we right now have just seen the clock dwindle down.
90 seconds remain, and car parts are flying in the RFN defense as Ivan is finding demolition after demolition on the back lines. Rexo meeting Rizius up high. Neon now over Ivan once more to clear it away and to maybe get something going next. Oh, resends, but the redirect from Neon not on target.
We're not far away from the checker flag in this particular game, but we near enough saw a red flag situation for pieces to be picked up there. Could have broken Fake SK Gaming. They need to reset and retune, and that's online.
And that's the second from Razier's long distance shot, and also a Fields backflip moment from Neon, who you would have fancied getting some part of his car onto that long shot.
You would have certainly thought that. You described it earlier, getting the bonnet or a wheel or some kind of touch earlier on to the fact that they faltered down. And this is, unfortunately, the situation that you do not want to find yourself 2-0 down in both game and series. This here surely has to be the panic stations. The alarm bells must be ringing.
Red alert for RFN. No more mistakes allowed. Simple as that. With Neon driving it down the length of the pitch. Fabso slower in this battle with Raziers. As Fake SK Gaming using their speed advantage and preying on a Neon that is hurting, that is feeling uncomfortable.
At this point here, it's an open wound, and you can just see the poor resemblance of what was structure, stability gone. But when you're at this stage here, you don't care why you lose by 1, 2, 10. It's just gone. RFN needs to simply hit the sort of the factory reset button here, Mac, and just sort of go, we have to play the game like it's game 1. Do not care what's happened beforehand, because so far here, what has worked hasn't worked well enough.
In the previous wins, RFN able to play long, follow from there. Only when the opponents gave them the midfield were they comfortable enough taking control. Simply put, Fake SK is falling into neither trap and is just harassing RFN at every possible opportunity.
The fact that that is the outcome, they're just not getting time to breathe and having that sort of close down of space. You have to look at your passing option. You have to look at the way it's disrupting. There was a play in the last series, if not to spoil too much, where the play was just cut out, and really, and we have done it exceptionally well on that particular job. Because when you look at a defensive player, not saying that he is one outright, but he done that role so well here that RFN, yes, they're 3 younger players in comparison, but one of them's got to take that role up.
Someone has to now, in comms, take the lead. Take charge. It doesn't matter if it's Rexo, Fabso, or Neon. All 3 of them certainly have the ability to be a leader. But if I was a gambling man, I would put it onto Rexo to now lead the charge and to really find some moments of brilliance for Fabso and Neon to latch onto and to give RFN hope. Their backs are truly against the wall. Let's see if the back support will help them come out swinging.
They don't have to stick them out swinging. They've got to take strides where giants will be gracing the land here. They've got to take titans, essentially, so in the German scene, and that's Razier's near enough himself outright here in the pinch to get away from danger. And it will be the aforementioned player to take over, and Nazi's already had one tight angle, and that one could have went through 3 different ways. Unfortunately, not one.
In the battle for German supremacy! It's an own goal from Neon, who is having, ever since game 2, an absolute and tremendous shocker.
You talked about support. They're not going to need it just physically, but mentally too. That one will sting more than anything else they've experienced so far tonight here. And Nas looking, and that's an excellent pass cut out. That is the space at least being closed down for Fake SK Gaming this time around. And Rexo, well, that's not ideal, but this, however, is the start of something.
And there is the rebound from Neon. Shocking game 3. Shocking start to game 4, but that pinch just goes in. Raziers, try as he might, will not keep it out.
And this might actually technically be the closest game we've had so far. Game 2, we were potentially talking about a win for this player and team here as Rexo. Pass 1, Nas will be getting to the ball, of course, first here. Pass, of course, Neon simply down to the middle here. So FK is effectively saying here to their opposition, we control as much as the pitch, and they have done so for the 3 odd games.
They control everything, but now it's a 1v1. If you want a 1v1, though, that's the man you want to defend, and Braziers shows his prowess against Neon. Beats him, leaving the scoreline unchanged. It's still tied at 1-1. It's a whiff from Neon. It's an infield pass, but well defended from Fapso.
Braziers, once again, you can almost say that he is the outright in-game leader itself here, as Neon will have to block Nas, and it has been tipped away here, but back and forth and thrusted by Ivan into the middle. Nobody gambling onto that one as Nas just fires a shot in it, but that was more probably due to a poor connection than his desire to get it on target.
And even still, Fake SK, they just exude pressure, they just exude class, and they exude fear that is being placed in the hearts of RFN, who now finally can break out of their own orange half. Rexo, the bounce certainly not favoring him. Nas taking it all the way down, back to the orange half. Ivan, challenged late, but at least challenged by Neon.
This is much more better, to give credit to them. It is challenges, and it is getting themselves elite further away from their own nets, as we've seen time and again. At this point, it's almost a case of when. But Rexo, he has ball and he has boost here. He just needs to find an option, and Ivan cuts it on out. And as simple as you can get here, both sides now trying to work a masterclass on the offense here.
Both sides trying. As once more, though, RFN is being pushed back by Fake SK. Nas into the center. Neon just puts it up high. Neither Resist nor Rexo having the appropriate read. Ivan, though, certainly he's going to fight Nas. Not a perfect touch from the young Moroccan, but he's getting a 1-2 with his Austrian teammate. Over to no avail as Fapso is able to cut it out. 100 seconds remaining, Danny. Once more, as in game 2, it feels like next goal is a silver bullet.
At this point, you just have the sense that it will be the goal here by, of course, Raziers and, of course, the rest of SK, the fake side themselves here, but they cannot, unfortunately, muster a real goal. They will have to do and settle for a second goal, and Nas will put it away from the keeper, and it is 2-1.
In the battle for German supremacy, the Moroccan puts it away for the lead. Nas makes it 2. Unbeatable, unsavable dribble from the young gun. And now RFN truly, desperately need that one moment. Ivan is not going to allow it to happen. Ivan, doomsy dish denied by Fapso.
Rexo, he will go surely to the wall, cut into the middle as Neon follows at a second touch. Is it going to take it away from Rexo? It effectively did here. 50-odd seconds to push all the way down here, or is the world already conquered by Raziers? Are we effectively seeing a king here potentially have his attempt to take the throne of Queer on Odyssey? So 30 seconds, it is simply on Rexo's shoulders.
Dane, demoed by Raziers. Neon, though, tries to carry it on, can't find the connection on the pass down. Rexo, big whiff, leaves it for Neon. That's not good enough, not enough power. Now Rexo against Raziers. Oh, it's unbelievably smooth from Raziers.
Even Rexo, even in the heat of battle, gives full credit here. That is an exceptionally difficult shot to pull off. Yes, you have time, yes, you have space, but to deliver it in the semi-final. Raziers, you said, oozes just class. It's far more than that, and hold a second here. 5 seconds, a hope and a dream perhaps.
Hold the door. One more kickoff like this, and RFN could scramble their way into another overtime. Now, though, this kickoff, Ivan against Rexo, crucial. Oh, what a beautiful force, though, from Ivan. Could see by the way he positioned his car. That was just fully intentional. Rexo can't keep it alive. And the battle for Germany has been won by the imitation of the German org, by Fake SK Gaming.
Sometimes imitation is the best form of flattery. SK Gaming, if you're watching, maybe suggesting to pick this line up here because Mac, that was domination. That's a 4-0 sweep in some file here. And it wasn't a case of the other team played badly. It was just how well they were doing it on the night.
The bubble is good. The bubble is deep. But this fake SK Gaming side is simply not the bubble. They are RLCS level players, and they've showed that they are simple a class and a level above.
Certainly so. And when you look at the whole scheme of what happened there, you just have to look at it and just say what they done was just outstanding.
It was good. It was immaculate. And yeah, in the end, I think RFN, they just broke down. They couldn't find a way through. They couldn't get back. And I'm getting confirmation of that actually from Neon as we speak, as he says the head simply was gone. It wasn't there. It wasn't there to really dig deep to find a way into the series.
Well, that is how just sometimes the mental side of the game go. But as on your screens there, just briefly, you saw, of course, the grand final has its two competitors there. And, well, frankly, a huge thanks to, of course, Ali and Psyonix at this point in time. But Mac, there is a grand final, and there is 3 people waiting in the background. I think it's time for us to be swept out of the casting booth and make room for, of course, our fabulous friends to take over.
Welcome back. This is Rising Stars Odyssey, and it is time for Grand Finals. We already had the open qualifiers yesterday. We had a grueling day of matches, single elimination bracket, best of sevens. Some teams made it faster than the others, but now only 2 remain, and there can be only 1 champion. Fake SK Gaming versus Gyat. I'm here with Boyo, Royo, and Relic, trying to figure out what's going to happen, as well what has already happened. We have just seen a sweep. This is a rarity in today's bracket, but that was such a confident sweep, Boyo. Fake SK Gaming really didn't leave a brick staying on RFN roster.
Fake SK Gaming are looking really scary. I had faith in them making the finals. I did not have faith in them making the finals in the fashion that they did. Only dropping 2 games to Noob earlier on and 1 to Boom Baby in round 1. They have had a pretty easy road to the grand final just because of how good they have played. So they're a scary team coming into this year, and I think on most people's accounts, the favourites.
I'm terrified, Relic. I'm absolutely terrified. Raziers, Ivan, Nas. Raziers and Ivan, honestly, I'm not surprised that they're clicking together, but throwing Nas into the mix, Moomin as their coach, both right now from SK roster, or current SK roster technically, as who knows what's going to happen. And they found this a great thing. Nas previously mentioned as a 2s player, but right now I don't think he's feeling out of the water in this 3 situation.
No, absolutely. They do look really, really good, albeit I do think that they had the easier semi-final of the 2. I'd say that RFN was easily the 4th best team going into that top 4, so you know, you take that with whatever you can. But listen, Jam, you know I love stats with meaning. Well, how about a useless stat for everybody? The team that has swept their opposition in today's tournament has gone on to lose the next series. Now, given there's only been 1 other sweep, with that being DOP Esports sweeping CMS, and obviously DOP Esports now lost 4-1 to Gyat. But listen, you take Hopium wherever you can find it, and for the Gyat fans who I think are imagining that they are second best coming into this one, they will take as many plus points as they can find.
Well, right now is the best perfect time to do just that. This is the grand final meeting. Well, the $9,000 of our $13,000 prize pool is on the line. Ivan Nas and Raziers for Fake SK Gaming. They might be the real ones in the future season versus Acro, Lewis B, and Relating Wave. That's just 2/3 of Guild Esports. Plus Relating Wave, who is an absolute class act. That is going to be a doozy. Rules haven't changed. This is the grand final. This is best of 7. No second chances, no replays, no nothing. It's just this, a game of Rocket League. Before we start, though, a quick shout out to Boris. Today is his birthday, so happy birthday, Bori. RLCS admin, all things Rocket League fella, and a really good person. All have been working together for ages. Back to this, though. Fake SK Gaming Gyat. I think I cannot let you go, guys, without asking you of a prediction. So give me a score, give me a champion. Boyo, once again, you're first.
Oh, me first? Oh, no. You know, Fake SK Gaming are looking really good. But Gyat really impressed me. If they can keep that defense up, it could be a challenge. I still am going to go the way of Fake SK Gaming. But I'm going to say a game 6 win, 4-2.
4-2. Relic, what about you?
It's Roster Mania. We're in for a stunner. First seed versus second seed on a day where nobody was a standout in terms of favorite. 4-3 in favorite. Let's go Fake SK Gaming. Let's go for the first seed, following through on that prediction.
I mean, first seed all the way. Ladies and gentlemen, This is the moment that is the culmination of the whole tournament. It is the grand finals, Rising Stars Odyssey, right here on your screens. It's Boyo and Relic.
This is the moment. Bad singing aside, I hope that we have a nice melody to sort of embrace throughout the course of what should be a really exciting grand finals. Whether we're going to see some discordant tunes or whether we're going to see some real rock and roll, one thing is for sure, as I mentioned, Rostermania in full focus, everybody wanting to prove themselves, and this is really the first opportunity to do that in EU.
One thing for certain, this match is going to pop, and the bubble as a whole starting to pop as we kind of get a bit more undefined of who's bubble anymore, who's RLCS, who knows anymore. All I know is that we're in for a good match. It is going to absolutely rock Relic.
Absolutely. Are we going to hear some? I mean, one team's going to have blues at the end of this, surely. Who's going to be doing the salsa? That's the answer. That's the question. That's the answer. There's lots more to sort of delve into as this best of 7 gets underway. And a reminder, of course, yes, we've had best of 7s throughout the entire day, but there's no sets, there's no game advantage, there's no double bracket. All the marbles are on the table. And a reminder, if you are just joining in from the $14,000 prize pool, the winner goes home with 6K. Second place with 3K. It's double your money. It's our best of 7 grand final.
It's a 7 grand final, as you mentioned. The winner gets that top prize. The loser still gets lots to go home with, but at the end of the day, after this match, it is all a wrap. Good save by Relating Wave and a clear out from Acro. A passing opportunity. He has Relating Wave in the centre. A big bump in Relating Wave at will at Catch. He rolls it on round, no success just yet. Here comes Ivan upfield, but Louis P to deny.
And that's really the advantage that this team's going to have, really, is that guild connection between Acro and Louis P, Relating Wave. Remember breaking onto the scene all those years ago with discombobulators. He's someone who has been around the block. He's someone who I think is one of the more adaptable thirds in this Rostermania season, in this silly season. And if anybody's going to prove their worth, it will be him. And as if on cue, getting the assist for Louis P.
Louis P is quick into action. The passion Relating Wave, the demo from Raziers. He has played an absolute incredible game right there. And Relating Wave has consistently been a player, and I think you'll agree with it, who is underlooked a lot of the time. A lot of maybe disrespect being put on his name, not